I am sitting here with Mr. Lawrence McKay. He is, honestly, I think probably the large brains behind all of this Salsa in the Sub 2. I know you stepped up a ton to help put all of this together. Tell me about your experience with it.
This is really like a whirlwind in a bottle. Kat came to us with the idea. This is really her brainchild.
Yes.
She came to us with the idea of having a real estate meetup as she was doing this salsa event.
Right.
And my initial thought was, that's crazy, but I love it.
Right.
And I immediately took it to Jim Patrick.
Right.
And Jim was on board from jump. So, once the three of us kind of clicked, it was like, all right, let's just get emotional. Let's make it happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as soon as I was on that Zoom, it took me about 20 minutes to kind of figure out what everybody was talking about. I'm like, yeah, this is all a real estate community, but why are we going salsa dancing? I'm not opposed to it. I have two left feet and I'll totally break them out. But like, how are we linking the two? And then it finally started clicking and I'm like, oh, that's genius.
But that's Sub 2. That's how we work. We take two things that don't normally go together and we make them merge beautifully.
So true. So true. So give me kind of a little behind the scenes on what it took from your side of stuff to orchestrate all of this and put it all together to essentially assist Kat with everything that she already had going on.
Well, being a connector, it just...
Know your avatar.
I just kind of fell right into into my wheelhouse.
It did.
I'm always reaching out to people, always trying to figure out who's who knows what, who needs what.
Right.
And just trying to fill the room up with quality, people that I know were truly go-givers.
Right.
I just went down the roster. Of people that I knew who would bring value, who would be able to capture people's attention.
Right.
And just started making phone calls, just literally picking up the phone and making calls. Hey, are you in? Are you interested?
All right, so we know you are mainly a connector. Give me a kind of a high-level overview of how you run your business, your operation, your team.
So what I do is literally just reach out to primarily the newer members. I try to give them some type of direction.
I think I was in for about 2 weeks when we first talked. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I try to give them some kind of direction just because I've been in Sub 2 for a few years now.
Right.
Since November of 2020.
It's crazy to think that it's been around that long.
Yeah, I know.
And we've been in it that long. I've been in a year and a half now, and I'm like, where did the last year and a half go?
It goes so fast, but you also learn so much. And it's only right that we give back.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, that was one of the biggest things with, it's a forever mentorship as long as you keep giving back.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that draws is not bragging by any stretch, but it draws better people that want to do that stuff. It brings in the people with the teaching heart.
Exactly.
And if you come at everything with a teaching heart, that's one thing I've learned with business. If you come in with a teacher's heart, everything else just kind of falls in line.
Yeah.
It's not easy, there's plenty of struggles, but everything else falls in line.
Having that teaching heart and also having that go-giving heart, like, it comes back to you. Because
it really does.
Most of my deals actually come from the newer members who, they're out there taking action, making calls, and, finding deals, and they just don't know what to do with them. So who did they come to? The first person that they, looked at and said, hey, I need help. They go to the first person that gave them help.
Right.
And a lot of times it's a connector like myself. And that's where I, generate a lot of my leads and a lot of my deals from.
Right.
From those newer members.
Can't beat that?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's really a win-win because you win, they bring you a deal. You help them win because they close a deal.
Right.
And they see that it's real.
Right.
Now you forge this bond.
And once it's tangible, it's just, you can't get enough of it.
No.
You can't get enough of it.
Not at all. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell, man. Like, I just reach out to other investors and connect, see what value I can bring to them.
Right.
And in turn, it just comes back. It's reciprocated.
I was blown away when you called me and were like, hey, do you want to speak? And I'm like, it's extremely humbling and I do appreciate the opportunity.
Listen, the way you guys are rocking out in Western Maryland, I had to call.
We have gotten something pretty special going on up in, what do we call ourselves? The Western Maryland Dominators.
I'm not mad at that.
No,
because
when
I looked at it, and I had a conversation with you,
yeah.
And we were talking about all that you guys had accomplished up there, and I'm like, why aren't y'all telling us about this? Y'all had closed like 6 deals, including a multifamily deal.
Yeah.
And we knew nothing about it. So I'm like, okay.
It's too busy chasing deals to post about
like,
it.
These are the go-getters. These are the action takers that we need.
Right.
So you being the ringleader, it was only right.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we've started I was at the mastermind back in May, and that's when it came up that I was asked to be the DMV, the Western Maryland leader. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. At the mastermind, talked to the Houston group that was already doing the power hour, and then it was like, hey, just do what we're doing. It works. Okay, sweet. At least I had a blueprint. Still had no idea what I was doing or supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. But we just kind of put it into play. In our first power hour of cold calling, we had, I think it was 12 people show up. In our first happy hour, we had 12 people show up.
Nice.
Our number's been down a little bit, but end of summer, everyone's trying to get their last bit of vacation in. Yeah. I get it. So I'm excited to see what happens this fall with our numbers. But our last happy hour a couple weeks ago, we had 20 people, and that was only our third one. So I'm excited to see how much it's already grown in just such a short time. And then also our power hour, we've had 9 weeks of it. We're averaging 16 people a week.
Man, that's amazing.
So it's huge.
Yeah,
and everyone and it's not just sub-2 students. So one thing that I think we've done a little bit differently is just kind of open it up to everybody. So we have TTP, Astro, Gator. Some people are showing up that are just seeing some of the advertisements that we're putting out, my 2 partners and I, and going from there.
Yeah.
And they're showing up and be like, oh, hey, what community are you in? I'm not in a community. Do I have to be one? Nope. Welcome.
Exactly.
Here's a list of people to call. I don't know what I'm doing. Great. Neither do we. Just pick up the phone, ask them if they want to sell their house.
But that's how it should be.
Chase the no.
That's how it should
Go for them. And that's one of the biggest tips that I've picked up from everybody else is don't go for the yes. Chase the no. So that way when you do get the yes, it's that much more exciting.
Yeah, indeed. Makes it rare.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. But you know, I respect how you you actually went to the Houston group and kind of emulated what they were doing, because you know, great leaders are great followers first, right?
I try to be.
So to me, that just speaks volumes about who you are, your character.
Thank you, sir.
Know, your drive. Like I've seen how you built that from the day I told you, like, hey, I want you to be the leader. Like you didn't stop running.
No,
you took off and ran with it, and you haven't stopped since. And I'm proud.
Thankfully, I was at the mastermind and at least found a direction, because I was just running in circles. So at least I was able to pick up a direction from them.
I couldn't tell. Honestly, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. Seriously. Like, we had a phone call. We talked about it, and we still have a bonfire to set up, bro.
We do.
Yes, sir.
It's finally starting to get there.
Looking forward to that.
To the side for now.
You see how this conversation goes, right? Right? You see how this goes.
This happens once a month, once every 2 months, give or take.
Yeah.
So the deeper I think that we both get into this, the more that we connect, and we could not talk about anything for 2 weeks straight and then pick right back up where we left off.
Exactly.
And somehow you can still control my squirrel brain and understand half of the stuff that I'm talking about.
Listen, you see how squirrels chase each other around the tree? It works.
Very true. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, buddy. I do appreciate it.
You.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.